You sit on your couch, looking at your screen. You have a great idea. You know exactly what you should be doing right now. You tell yourself you will start tomorrow. You just need to feel a little more motivated first. It feels logical, doesn't it? You wait for the spark to hit you. But the truth is much stranger than that. Waiting to feel heady is the exact reason you are stuck. You have been lied to about how motivation actually works. Most people think the chain reaction goes like this. First comes motivation, then comes action, and finally comes result. So you sit around, waiting for that sudden surge of energy to hit you. You watch inspiring videos. You read quotes. You wait for Monday morning. You wait for a feeling that might never arrive. Here is what science actually tells us about your brain. Motivation is an emotion, not a physical requirement for movement. Motivation is controlled, largely by dopamine, a neurotransmitter that drives reward seeking. But dopamine does not spike while you are standing still. It spikes when your brain senses progress. That means the real chain reaction is flipped. Action comes first. Action creates momentum. Momentum triggers dopamine, and dopamine generates motivation. Motivation is not the cause of action. It is the byproduct of action. When you sit around waiting to feel heady, you are asking your brain to fool a car that hasn't even turned on yet. To understand why this trap is so effective, look inside your head. Your brain has a primary mandate: keep you alive by conserving energy and avoiding threats. Starting something new requires energy. It introduces uncertainty. It risks failure, embarrassment, or discomfort. Your brain registers all of those things as potential threats. So your brain uses a clever self-defense mechanism. It does not tell you to give up on your dreams entirely. That would make you feel guilty. Instead, it gives you a compromise. It says, we will definitely do this, just not right now. Let's wait until we feel more energized. Your brain tricks you into feeling like you made a responsible decision, while secretly keeping you completely safe in your comfort zone. You fall into what psychologists call passive consumption. You research the diet for 3 weeks instead of going for a 10-minute walk. You buy books about business instead of making your first sales call. You plan the workout routine without lifting a single weight. Researching feels productive. Planning feels good. It gives you a tiny hit of dopamine without requiring any real risk. It creates the illusion of progress while keeping you frozen in place. So how do high performers bypass this mental wall? They do not possess a magical supply of endless willpower. They simply rely on a principle known as activation energy. In chemistry, activation energy is the minimum amount of energy required to initiate a reaction. Once the spark lights the fire, the chemical reaction sustains itself. The exact same rule applies to your mind. The hardest part of any task is almost always the first 2 minutes. Starting a draft is painful. Writing line 20 is easy. Putting on your hunting shoes is a struggle. Running the second mile feels natural. When you lower the activation energy required to start, you take away your brain's ability to negotiate. You do not commit to writing a whole book today. You commit to typing one messy paragraph. You do not commit to an intense or long workout. You commit to doing 5 push-ups right next to your bed. You trick your nervous system into stepping across the threshold before it has time to trigger the alarm. Once your body is in physical motion, momentum takes over. Friction disappears. Notice how this plays out in real life once you flip the switch. You wake up feeling tired and uninspired. Instead of waiting for enthusiasm to strike, you pull back the covers in 3 seconds. You take one step, then another. By the time your brain wakes up enough to complain, you are already halfway through your morning routine. You have an uncomfortable task at work. Instead of opening social media to copy with the dread, you open the blank document and type 3 words. Suddenly, the dread evaporates. You're in the flow. You realize that the fear was never about the work itself. The fear was about the transition into the work. You stop measuring your headiness by your emotional state. You realize that you can feel hesitant, cheered, or uncertain and still take physical action anyway. Your feelings no longer get of watching whether you move forward. Confidence is not something you wait to receive before you start. Confidence is the proof you earn after you show up when you didn't feel like it. Every single time you move without feeling ready, you rewire your self-image. You teach your brain that you are a person of momentum, not a person of hesitation. Look at the goal you have been putting off for weeks or months. Are you going to keep sitting on the couch, waiting for a feeling that isn't coming? Or are you going to get up right now, take one tiny step, and let motivation catch up to you on the way?